Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we got the patch notes for the Captain America Punisher Veterans Day 20,000 more combat types update. So let's get into it. There's actually surprisingly a good number of things in this besides just the patch. So we'll get into that, like a Black Bolt buff, like a CTP of Rage Reforged buff, and Black Bolt's uniform coming back on sale. So keep it locked in this video for all of that information. Now, this is a rolling patch, which means that it's going to be patched in waves. You're not going to have to sit through maintenance, but you will have to sort of restart your game around this time schedule. This is 7 p.m. Pacific time. This is 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is quite early. One good benefit of, one benefit of daylight savings. And then it's, of course, you know, into the next morning, into the next day in the morning for everyone else in the world, depending on your time zone. But it's a rolling patch. So it should, you should close your game and then reopen it, and you'll be prompted to download a patch, and then you'll be able to see the new uniforms and the new advancements and stuff like that. Now, unlike Black Panther Wakanda Forever Part 1, we'll call that Part 1 for now because we've seen a lot of this lately in the comments. These uniforms are 50% off, which means that we are now in sort of the Black Friday zone of things, which is nice. So 50% discount, so you can feel free to buy these uniforms right away if you want to, if you were planning to. If not, wait for reviews. I will have reviews on these ASAP. I'll also be streaming tonight on YouTube to sort of give you my first impressions of these. So yeah, just keep it locked here for that. As far as Captain America's uniform goes, it's back to basics like Iron Man, which is kind of cute. Iron Man and Cap, you know, they share this sort of like eternal bond. He's got a lot of skill changes. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to pick and choose the ones that I like. But what I want to highlight here is a little bit of confusion from the player base as to what the devs want Cap to do, because he has things like decreased chain hit by 10%. He also has an ability that activates to increase his offense and defense when his HP goes below 70%. He also has a counterattack that ignores iframe when he attacks enemies with a 40% chance to penetrate. However, 40% penetration is not that high for PvP. He also has a 25% heal. So he seems to have some PvP abilities, but he also seems to be, I don't know, I don't want to say lacking some PvP abilities. He's definitely more PvP focused than other characters. You know, his leadership gets bumped up from 30% HP to 45. He's got a debuff removal with a 60% chance that can trigger every 10 seconds for 6 seconds, which is quite nice. So you could see a Captain America Hulk team doing a lot of work in PvP because that 45% lead is very, very nice. However, probably the most exciting thing about Captain America, besides some cryptic named skills like Iron Support, I wonder what's going to be there. But besides that, the more interesting thing is on his tier 3 skill. Now, the much maligned original tier 3, where you charged up Captain America's tier 3 and then you had to accumulate a bunch of damage, then you let go of the skill button, but you could use the V-pad, you could use the joystick to move him around. This skill has seen probably the most iterations and changes of any skill in the game, and players still don't like it. However, looking at these patch notes, players are jumping for joy at the possibility, I don't know, it's not a guarantee, but all it says here is move using the V-pad skill while using the skill. That's all it says. And if we contrast this, if we compare this to the previous patch notes for Phoenix, Enter the Phoenix, you can see that this Captain America, his tier 3 skill said tapping and holding the skill icon will charge the skill and releasing it will commence the attack. So they got rid of that portion of the skill effect. Now, that doesn't mean that the skill is going to change. I don't want to hype you guys up, but there's a possibility that they change the skill so you no longer have to tap and hold. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. However, should be interesting. So yeah, some spicy stuff for Captain America, potentially PvP centered. He also has a brand new accumulation. He accumulates 20% of pure damage when attacking rather than when attacked. And then he gets a 1% increase in attack for each 1%. So he can go up to 20% increase on the basic attack for accumulation. The highest we've seen for accumulation when dealing damage is 15%. So he's going, 25% higher than that. That should be a pretty big deal. But again, We'll have to wait and see. You can also have this accumulation up all the time because it's a 13-second cooldown and it's a 7-second buff. So that is quite spicy. This you might be looking at the #1 tier 4 now based on some of these stuff. We don't know. I don't know, right? If he's just for PvP, I think a lot of people are going to skip, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we have Punisher here, superhero. Sorry, he gets his leadership bumped up a little bit from 24 to 30%. He gets a lot of effects, in my opinion, that lean him more heavily towards PvP. So this does seem like a PvP focused upgrade for both Cap and Punisher, but Cap is still a bit of a question mark because of that accumulation. However, Punisher is pretty squarely in the PvP army and sort of PvP category. He's got 50% increased damage to supervillains on his uniform passive only for himself, so he's not a support. He has a 40% chance to increase his crit damage by 80%. These are all new effects. Then his passive now gives him 40% HP, 30% damage reduction, and skill damage bonus damage. In addition, his tier 2 passive is changing to give him ignore dodge, crit damage increase, and decrease additional pierce damage taken by 50%. That's huge. So he's going to basically do the Dormammu effect. Yeah, he's going to cut the pierce in half that he's receiving. Now, I don't think you take pierce damage in PvE from bosses. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But you definitely take pierce damage in PvP from other players, from whales and whatever. So decreasing that by 50% is going to be pretty huge, I think. It's pretty interesting there. And then he has some generic skills. He's got Road to Death, which sounds really cool, which also gives him counterattack and iframe ignore like Captain America, 30% heal, and a 60% chance to penetrate for 4 seconds, and a self buff. Some of these buffs are a little bit low on the number of seconds, like 4 seconds is kind of low, especially considering you can only pop this every 7 seconds, but it is a 30% heal, so we'll have to wait and see. He then also gets another frenzy buff on Beast Wrath, and then he gets invincibility on Final Hunt. So he's kind of lacking effects a little bit. He's kind of lacking buffs, but at the same time, the decreased pierce damage, we haven't seen this on a character yet. So this is very, very interesting. So we're seeing some brand new effects, at least brand new for characters, not for bosses, combined with some traditionally very PvP focused skills. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it seems like maybe a team of Captain America, Hulk, and Punisher. Maybe that'll be a very good PvP team. I don't know. They're really pushing the combat meta for PvP, which probably is going to inform a lot of people's investments for Black Friday as far as Adam Warlock and Emma Frost go. But we'll cover that in a separate video. Punisher's tier 3 skill looks pretty cool. He throws a bunch of grenades. There's a bunch of explosions. And then Punisher does the superhero landing. And he's a cool guy, so he doesn't look at explosions. It's pretty generic. It's kind of cool. I kind of wish there was more Punisher, like a skull emoji at like a skull on the ground or something. You know, like something that it doesn't. You know, if you don't see the beginning when he throws the grenade, if you don't see this part and you don't see the ending when he jumps, you don't know whose tier 3 this is. This could be anyone's. You can't see Punisher in the midst of all those explosions. So yeah, it's okay. I don't generally complain about skills. It's okay. And his tier 3 just looks kind of whatever. Captain America, there's nothing special here. No. Captain America gets a tier 4, obviously, which is a little bit more interesting. Now, he gets 100% basic attack increase for 7 seconds, which is quite nice, which is sort of similar to Moon Knight. But then he gets this new effect. So 2 brand new effects here. Ignore all damage over max HP, plus 15%. I have no idea how to decipher what the hell this means. It sounds like when his tier 4 is active, you can't kill him. Or that he at least can't be one-shotted. I don't know. It's over his max HP plus 15%. I don't know what this means. Does it mean that he can't be one-shotted? Or does it mean that he can't take damage when he gets down to 15%? Because it's like his max HP plus 15? I don't know. Is he going to get like an extra bubble that extends his HP beyond the max while the tier 4 is active and you can't reduce that percentage, which is basically the same as making him immortal for 3 seconds? I don't know. It's very, very obscure. It's not obscure. It's it's a mystery. I don't know. I don't know what the hell to do with this. We'll see. We'll have to wait. We'll have to test and see, which I kind of like. I know that they should do a better job of advertising these tier 4s, but at the same time, I like that they're experimenting with new things. And then we get a new artifact for Punisher. He gets the same artifact that I believe Deadpool and Arrow have that gives him the chance to remove debuffs to basically cleanse himself. And then he ignores PvP enemies' damage decreased by 20%, which again leans him very much towards PvP. There's no artifact for Cap because he already has an artifact. And for those of you wondering what Captain America's artifact is, it's right here. And what does it do? It increases his damage dealt to supervillains and decreases his damage received from supervillains. So that is what his artifact does. So yeah, pretty good, pretty solid artifact there. And then, okay, we get to the other changes here. Black Bolt's tier 4 skill is being changed, being buffed to bring it back in line with the way that it was before they nerfed Black Bolt and Hulk. So they're keeping the final damage the same. They're increasing the basic damage by 10% from 40 to 50. And then they're adding an additional line of text that was never there. They're increasing the additional pierce damage by 8%. Interesting. I don't really know what else to say. That sounds good. We're going to have to see how it plays out in the game. Honestly, to be 100% honest with you guys, and I know some players are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I'm happy with Black Bolt's performance. I'm happy with his performance now. He's a really good tier 4. He's really fun to play. He's really easy to play. He's got really nice animations, and he hits like a truck. So this is just for me. This is just gravy. I know some players are gonna be, really looking at this under a microscope. Honestly, it's gonna be hard for me to look at it under a microscope because I didn't notice that much of a drop in Black Bolt's performance. And even though I noticed like a 10 or 15 second drop in GBR or whatever, he was still really fast. So yeah, it's less of a compare. For me, I compare Black Bolt less to himself, and I compare him more to my other tier 4s. And he still performs so well, versus Thor, versus whatever, that I still think he's really good. But this is nice. This is good. And then, okay, so that's that. Okay, but now here's where it gets more interesting. So they are also increasing the effectiveness of the Reforged Rage. Now, there's no like official before and after kind of thing. I think what they did is they changed something sort of in the coding of the game. I don't think we're going to see a difference in when you look at the CTPs of Rage, the Reforged CTPs of Rage. I think they're going to look exactly the same in terms of the numbers. The numbers are not being edited or buffed from last time when they were buffed. But this time it says here, the critical damage percent effect of the Mighty and Brilliant CTP of Rage has been improved to be effective against enemies with high defenses as well. Because a lot of players, myself included, we tested the Mighty Rage, and we basically noticed no difference against Dormammu. We basically noticed no difference versus a very high stage of Gore, who is the most difficult piece of PvE single-player content in the game. And so we should see a difference now between a regular Rage and a Mighty Rage to encourage players to actually reforge them. But I don't think there's going to be an actual buff to the CTPs. I think they just changed something about the damage calculation, specifically when the Mighty and Brilliant are introduced to the damage equation. But yeah, we'll have to see how this works. It's nice that they did all of this at the same time, so they're addressing multiple issues. They did not address the Hulk issue, so that is obviously going to be on everyone's mind. Why isn't Hulk getting buffed? Black Bolt got buffed. Hulk's tier 4 skill still doesn't work. I know. Let's just wait and see. Hopefully the devs won't ignore it forever. Last but not least, we have the November additional update celebration event. It's a mouthful. So there we go. We get our first look at the character models for Captain America and Punisher. We get just the regular events for an update, right? These uniforms are going to be 50% off. These are the optionals for the uniforms. They're also going to be 50% off. They finally went a little bit thematic with these. We have Daredevil and Elektra for Punisher, very nice. And then we have Black Widow and Captain America Sharon Rogers for Captain America. Very cool. We got the growth bonus mission. We got the character ranking event. We got the gold bonus mission where you get the 5-star rank up ticket for free if you want to use that on M'Baku or whatever. We keep scrolling. We keep scrolling. Here we go. Black Bolt's uniform is going to be on sale again. Yes. For those of you that missed it or decided not to buy it because of FOMO, you will have another chance until the 22nd. So you have about a week to decide once again if you want to buy this uniform. Because they buffed it, because it was changed, they're giving players a chance to buy it again. It's going to be full cost, just like it was before, not being changed in that sense, but otherwise it is back. Morgan Le Fay's is not back, but Black Bolt's is back. This is a really good thing that they did, and it gives me hope that they're going to buff Hulk. So yeah, I'm not trying to FOMO you into buying this uniform now. I will do another review on it just to show you guys exactly what he can do. But I do think that the community was a little bit unaware of how good Black Bolt is, and that's my fault for not doing a better job of showcasing him. He's a very good tier 4 and very flexible as a universal like Thor. So yeah, I'll get to work on that. Don't you worry, I won't make that mistake twice. But just so you know, it will be back on sale for those of you that that missed it the first time. So yeah, those are the patch notes. I'm surprisingly okay with this. I know it's more combats, but I've beat that horse dead, so I'm not going to complain again about all of the combats. And we'll just have to wait and see if we get a Wakanda Forever Part 2, which a lot of people are saying we will, or if, you know, whatever happens, happens. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Be here tonight during the patch. I will be here playing live. So yeah, live stream coming tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.